What is happening? What is up? What is down? It is another wrestling therapy session. I, of course, am your host, Osuji. I am back here with John. John, what is up?
Not too much, just relaxing, getting ready for Dynamite, and kind of wanting to see what happens leading up to Blood and Guts in the next couple of weeks, which is going to be a really big thing. I'm excited for what they're doing with it.
I won't have to call you Mr. AEW because your predictions for AEW just seem to continue to hit. You predicted some things to happen last on the last episode, and
Yeah,
by golly, they fucking did. So,
well, yeah, I just kind of honestly, I kind of look at, especially with AEW, I look at what the matches are. I look at who's involved in them, and I kind of look at, okay, what would be the way or how would be the best way to do this? It was kind of like the Fatal Four Way for the tag team number one contendership. It was like, okay, do I see the Bucks winning the number one contendership? Not really. Do I see Jurassic Express winning it? Not really, not this quickly after reuniting. So I had a feeling it was between FTR and Jet Speed, and I had a feeling that they were going to give it to FTR, and then one of two things: either FTR beats Brodito at Full Gear, and then Cope and Christian versus FTR happens again for the tag titles, or Cope and Christian cost FTR the tag titles at Full Gear, one or the other.
speaking of Cove, I know there's been a lot of people fantasy speculating that Cope is going to be John Cena's final opponent. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's just far fetched? Do you think there's some possibility? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I mean, I'd love to see it happen. Cope and Cena was a great feud. They always had great matches with one another, but I also think that it's a very long shot. I don't think that it's going to happen. Yes, Cope took time off from AEW. He hasn't been on TV since September. And I mean, some people are speculating that that's because he's going to WWE. I don't think he is. From the last I heard, he signed, I think, a 3-year deal when he signed with AEW. So, from what I understand, he's still got another year on his contract.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan adds time for like injury and stuff like that, because I believe he's done that to Ray Phoenix in the past, which is why it took him forever to
He
exit.
did. He did. Speaking of injuries or adding time to contracts, that Andrade situation has been quite the situation. He showed up on one Dynamite, and then you haven't seen him since. And apparently, it's because WWE had it into his contract that if he was fired for not showing up and breach of contract, things like that, that he couldn't wrestle anywhere else for 1 year.
Damn.
Yeah, apparently that's now a standard thing in WWE and TKO contracts. If they're fired or whatever with cause, like if they're let go,
Drugs.
if for drugs and things like that, apparently it's 1 year that they can't compete anywhere else.
I could see that. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I mean, if it's drugs and stuff, it's a way for the person to maybe figure out, or maybe something where the person's like, okay, maybe I should stop doing what I've been doing because this just cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars where I can't wrestle for a year.
I mean, you have nothing else to do but either try to work under a hood or AKA a mask for those who didn't know what that means. Work under a mask and hopefully nobody recognizes you, or get clean.
Yeah. He all of a sudden it's El Generico shows up.
Remember Juan Cena?
Juan Cena, and what was there's another one.
I think it was
I
Hogan.
think it was the Canadian kid or something like that was Miz under a mask. And then you had
Hogan did
Mr.
one.
America.
Yeah.
Mr. America, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I wonder who that is. It
Yeah,
can't be Hogan.
exactly. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, back to AEW. They've got some good stuff building. I like some of the stuff they're doing, and I don't like some of the stuff that they're doing, but we'll get into that.
Okay. Well, no time better time than the present. What do you like about AEW?
I said it before when a couple months ago with the Swerve and Osprey injuries and everything, that there was no time like the present to push the women's division. I love what they're doing with some of the women's divisions, like the women's tag titles, things like that. Great. But on the same token, you've got women's blood and guts coming up. And that's going to be amazing. 12 women like in the match. 12 women in the steel cage match. 6 heels, 6 faces. I love the concept, but what I'm really not happy about is who's not in the match on the face team because you have Tiana Conti and Anna Jay who've been there for a while, been in kind of an established tag team for a while, and they're very much popular, yet they're not in that they're not in the blood and guts match. They've been with AEW for years now, maybe even since the beginning. I'm not 100% sure when they joined, but I know they've been there for a long time. And they deserve to be in something like this first ever women's blood and guts match, yet they're not involved with it. And a lot of the wrestling community online is not very happy about it.
Who is in this match?
So on the heel side, you have Monet, the Sisters of Sin, or sorry, the Triangle of Madness. So all three of them, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla. I believe you have Athena with Monet, and you have I think it's Marina Shafir because it was going to be Penelope Ford, but Penelope Ford is, oh no, not Marina. Megan Bain's in there somewhere too, so I know Megan Bain's there, Mercedes is there, the Triangle of Madness are there, and maybe it's Shafir at that point. Like it's maybe there's no Athena, maybe it's Shafir because I know for a fact that the other five are in it. For the face team, you have Willow, Harley, Statlander. Um, I'm just trying to think of exactly who it is now. I know that Ty Conti and Anna Jay aren't involved in it, but I'm just trying to think of the other faces. Tony Storm, Willow, Harley, Statlander, and they must have two others. Just give me a second. I'll see if maybe I can find that out.
Okay, it's not a problem.
One sec.
And that's what, 2 weeks, Blood and Guts?
I think so. Yep.
I do like that show. That is one of the shows I do try to watch because I do like that their concept of the war games.
Yep. Just working away.
It's all good. We know how technology is.
Yeah.
I know Dynamite's tonight. We have quite a few matches that I saw advertised.
Yeah. All right. So Blood and Guts 6. It is November 12th. So next week.
Oh, not even 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, next week. It is. Oh, Hayter and Queen Amanada. Jamie Hayter, Queen Amanada, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Timeless Tony Storm, and Chris Statlander against Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Thekla, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Monet. So I was wrong at first when I said Athena.
What are your predictions? Who wins?
Honestly, I know I've said before the Mercedes and Athena thing that it kind of would. I'm interested to see what they do with that, but I something tells me that the faces are gonna win that. The faces are gonna win that one. I have a feeling. I unless there's some kind of a heel turn, I can see the faces winning that.
And what did we got for the men's?
For the men's, you've got the Death Riders. So you got Moxley, Claudio, Yuta, Pac, Garcia, and maybe even one more. It is actually, I just had it open. So, Moxley, Garcia, Wheeler, Pac. Okay,
Claudio.
Moxley, Garcia, Wheeler, and Pac. It looks like five. Claudio, yeah. Against Darby, Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly. So 5-on-5 instead of 6-on-6. And I could see a way that the faces win that one too. If the heels are gonna win one of the matches, something tells me that it's gonna be the female one if the heels win one of the two Blood and Guts matches.
All right. Is there anything else confirmed for Blood and Guts besides those two matches?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. And tonight's got a lot of leading up to Blood and Guts, like some matches to try to have the advantages for the Blood and Guts matches next week.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about AEW's Dynamite for this week since we're on the topic.
Yeah.
As you mentioned,
First
we have.
off,
Go ahead.
yeah, Megan Bain against Queen Amanada is one of the matches for the advantage in the Blood and Guts. Um, I like how they're pushing Queen Amanada. I don't see Megan Bain losing that match. That's just kind of the way I look at it. I see Megan Bain winning that.
Okay. What
And
else?
then we've got Darby Allin up against Daniel Garcia. So I could see Darby winning that one. You have Claudio against Orange Cassidy. Again, a really good match, and that could really go either way. It depend. I'd be interested to see what they're doing with Claudio, because I think Claudio could be very much pushed more than the Death Riders storyline. I don't think he's being used well enough in AEW. I think he's capable of a lot more of than what they're doing with him right now.
I honestly thought he would have been world champion at least once by now in AEW.
Yeah, but right now they've got him as like Mox's henchman or whatever, Mox's whatever you want to call him, lackey. It, I mean, in a way it works, but I think he can do so much more.
I agree. What else we got?
So you've got Mercedes Monet teaming with Athena against Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron in the women's tag team tournament tonight. And that is a tough match to call because I did say last week that I thought Mercedes and Athena might win it all just because of the way they're pushing Mercedes with all those belts. But if there is somebody that I'd like to see beat Mercedes and Athena, I think my favorite to defeat them would probably be Harley and Willow, just because it's something different. Um, but if I'm not going to go with Mercedes and Athena overall in the tournament, it's going to be a team that's been together for a while. So either the Sisters of Sin with Julia Hart and Sky Blue, or the Anna Jay and Ty Conti team. They've been teaming together for a while, like I said, and they deserve to have a opportunity at those titles.
So who are you officially picking? It sounds like you're ping ponging around an official pick here.
Yeah, I know. Um, it's such a the way they're doing it. I still think it's going to be Mercedes. It's just the way that it's Mercedes. I don't like the pick, but I think I think it's the business, the way they're going with the business decisions. It seems like the route they're going to take.
The safe option.
Very much so.
Okay. Anything else of note going on tonight?
We have a trios match with Samoa Joe and Hobbs and Shibata up against Hook, Eddie Kingston, and Hangman Adam Page.
I feel like this is a Samoa Joe and company win.
Probably, probably. Did you happen to see the Dynamite last week with the Hangman Page costume and that?
I did see the clips. I did see the clips of that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was like, for one, he looked like Tony Schiavone, but he also had the Phantom of the Opera mask. Yeah.
He is creative with his costumes. I will give him that.
Oh, yeah, a couple of years ago, he was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I remember that one. I do remember that one.
Yeah. I think Hangman. Okay, here's a question to you. You pose questions to me a lot. Who do you think is the person that is next in line to defeat Hangman?
I still think it's MJF. That's just my opinion. I feel like he's gonna go through all these trials with Joe, and I don't think they're gonna wait for Swerve to come back to do it. Swerve would be an interesting option, but right now I want to go MJF.
I would agree, especially because he still has that contract too. Like he has the world title contract that he can use at any time still, because he won it back at Double or Nothing or whatever it was. He won the gauntlet match for it. And then later, a couple of months later, he challenged Hangman for the title. But at the end, he made it so that Hangman made the stipulation that he didn't have to use his contract for the title match. So MJF still has his guaranteed world title shot.
Now, is it set up like the Money in the Bank, or does he have to announce that he's challenging Hangman for the
I
title?
believe he has to announce, I think they said a week before or something like that. Like he has to give advance notice.
I don't really like that because it takes the element of a surprise away. It's like, hey, I'm And it's the same thing with the Money in the Bank when somebody announces like, "Hey, I'm cashing in a week." Like that takes away the spontaneity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But I know that they said something about advance. I can't remember how long, but they said he did have to say something in advance.
It should be like 24 hours.
Maybe.
That would be
Um,
a good one.
yeah. I agree with that. And I think what happens, maybe MJF wins it at like World's End, so the end of this year or something. Because
Read my mind.
that kind of comes full circle where a couple of years ago MJF lost the title at World's End when Adam Cole showed up after the match as the devil and that whole storyline,
That was a
which
really
I
good
called
storyline.
like months before. Like I called that months before that it was Adam Cole in that devil's mask. I'm like, yeah, you know it's Adam Cole. You know it's Adam Cole, baby. You knew that from the beginning. I'm like,
Have
seriously,
you heard
why
anything
did you?
about him?
I believe it. I know he had an injury at All In, and I believe it's concussions. Like, I believe that's what his problem
Mm.
is that he's suffering way too many concussions. Last I heard, they weren't 100% sure whether he was going to be able to return to the ring.
Yeah, concussions, you can't play with that.
Nope. Um, but yeah, that storyline would kind of come full circle. And then I think what happens is MJF holds the title, I would say till All In. And at All In, maybe I don't know who he faces at All In, but he faces somebody at All In. And like the whole thing is, he gets a win or something, or it's like an open challenge or something at All In, and the lights just go out, and Osprey's music hits, because I think that is the goal right now, is to have Osprey back for All In, because All In's in London next year in like late August, so it was in July this year, but it's in late August next year, which is why they had Osprey get taken out at Forbidden Door, which basically gives him 12 months to come back. That's my thought, is that in the end, Osprey's gonna have he's gonna have a big moment at that pay-per-view, and it's because it's his home country. Like, he's not going to be back long before that pay-per-view happens. So if he comes back before the pay-per-view, it'll only be a couple of weeks, probably, maybe one pay-per-view before. Otherwise, he's going to make his return at All In.
What about Swerve?
I think Swerve could be back around January, February-ish, so another couple of months. And it'll be interesting because I've heard a lot of people saying they want to see a heel Swerve Strickland. And I mean, I wouldn't mind the heel Swerve Strickland. He did all right with that whole Hangman versus Swerve thing. Swerve was kind of a heel in that feud a couple of years ago when they did that, where they had like Swerve or Hangman burn down Swerve's childhood home and things like that. And that was one of the best storylines in AEW in a long time.
That and the Devil's Mask thing were two of my favorite things they had going on at that period when I was watching.
Yeah. Um, I think right now the best feud of this year or the last 12 months has been the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher. They the two of them had like three great matches against one another within about a 6 month period. And I think if Osprey had stayed healthy, they would have even had more.
Hey, there's always that possibility.
I mean, it's going to happen in the future. Those two are going to be fighting for a world title at some point.
Who do you think wins the world
Um,
title first?
I think that Osprey wins it first. That's just my thing. But it would be interesting if they did it where Fletcher somehow won the world title and then Osprey was the one to take it off of Fletcher.
I mean, you say a year and it's like, oh, it's such a long time, but it's really not. It's
I mean,
oh,
Osprey's been out. He's been out about 2.5 months already. Right now, Will Osprey, because he was injured in August. So it's been about 2.5, almost 3 months.
already though. Like, damn, I remember that because I saw the last match he had.
Yeah,
So,
the entrance on the big cage, yeah, in the UK.
so I have a new game.
All right.
This was brought by a previous guest I had on yesterday, Moose, and it was an interesting game. I don't think we can give it a shot. So
Yep.
it's same concept. I'm gonna give you five people, but this is keep or fire. You can only keep three of the five.
All right.
All right, Megan Bain.
With what I've seen right now, I would say keep. I think she's got all the potential in the world. She's like she's got the stature. She's got like the figure. She's still fairly raw, I think, with some of the wrestling moves, and she's got a lot of work to do on the mic, but I think she has all the tools.
Okay, Tony Storm.
This is I think she's probably one of the best characters in wrestling right now. Timeless Tony Storm is just everybody loves her as a character. And I mean, even the Mariah May slash Blake Monroe has almost been a takeoff of Tony Storm. She was in AEW, even in WWE. I feel like they're trying to push her off as their version of Tony Storm.
I mean, wrestling is a very copied sport.
Yeah.
So, are you keeping Tony Storm or are you
Oh
letting him
yes. Yeah.
go?
No, I'm keeping her.
All right, Swerve.
Ooh, you're giving me people. You're not making this easy. That's for sure. Um.
You got one keep left.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I don't know what else is coming. And I honestly, right now, I think Swerve has reached the top that he can get to. I don't think he can be much more over than he already is. Um, I think I'm gonna let him go. He's already reached what I think his top potential could be. He's already a former world heavyweight champion. I feel like he's done what he can in AEW. If he went somewhere else, maybe it's a fresh start.
Okay, okay. All right, I like the logic. Okay, Swerve was gone. All right, let's go. Darby Allen.
Uh, it's Darby is great. He's got a lot of. Darby is great, but he's also very, in a way, one dimensional. Like, he doesn't. He just does whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he doesn't care what he puts his body through. He sacrifices everything for the fans, which is amazing. But I have a feeling his career is going to be shortened a lot because of the risks that he takes. I'm not willing to take that risk as much as I love Darby.
Okay, interesting. And the last one is Will Ospreay.
Yeah, that is a 100% keep. That is my guy. Like, Osprey's been my guy ever since I saw him show up in AEW. I mean, I saw some of his Japan stuff, but his AEW matches, it's just been unbelievable. And like the aura he has with his entrance and everything, with the crowd just always being involved with it. It's just one of those things where I think he's got the entire crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. Now, if I have to make any swaps in this, the without knowing who was coming, I made the predictions that I did. If anything, I would swap out Megan Bayne, and I would probably keep Swerve if I was making any changes. But without knowing what was coming, I think that my list is about as on point as I can make it when I'm thinking about it logically.
You gave very good logical explanations, and I said this was not a game I thought of. This was a from my previous guest, Moose. Me and him had this on there, and I was like, I kind of like that because you don't know. It's like it's Russian roulette essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, when you told me the third one was Swerve, I'm like, I have a feeling there's something bigger coming. And then the fourth one is Darby, and I'm like, I still feel like there's something bigger coming. And I swear I would have been kicking myself if I had picked one of those two and then you came with Osprey. And I'm thinking that you wanted me to pick one of those two so that you could throw Osprey out there and have me firing Osprey.
Look, I'm just trying to, just trying to make it interesting, make it spicy.
But in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's throwing these out there so that I choose one of them, and then he's gonna give me somebody like an Osprey.
Well, I didn't want to start off with Osprey. I didn't want to start off there because I know that's your guy. You'd be like Keith,
Yeah,
easy. So my final
yeah,
question to you:
yep.
who are the three best AEW World Champions?
That is interesting. All right. So first off, I'm gonna say Kenny Omega at number 3
Okay.
because Omega helped bring that, like, bring the AEW world title into fruition or whatever. Like, he really, when you look at it, about 4 or 5 years ago, when AEW was really, really starting to gain some momentum, before guys like Danielson and Adam Cole and people like that, it was Kenny Omega who had the belt and was putting on great matches with like Jericho, like even Jungle Boy had a world title match against Omega on a Dynamite, and he was doing a lot of those matches at that time. I don't think AEW is where they are without Kenny Omega.
That's accurate. That's fair. I don't think anybody could argue on that.
Number 2, the guy who's been there from the beginning, Chris Jericho. I know Jericho might not have had the title a whole lot, but he was the face of AEW. ever since AEW was announced, Jericho was kind of the main, one of the main people at the very, very beginning. He and Kenny were the two main people. I don't think that AEW is where they are today without either of those people.
Can't disagree.
And number one, the guy's held the title, I believe, 4 times now. He's the workhorse of that company. You might not always like the storylines, but Jon Moxley is AEW. He is the cornerstone of that company. He is what that company is currently built around because he's the guy that you see every single week fighting on TV. We had that discussion a few weeks ago that we always see him. He's always involved, even though he doesn't have to be.
True definition of workhorse. I've said this before. True definition of workhorse. Say what you want about the bleeding and all that other stuff, but nobody can say that guy is lazy.
Yep. And that's the thing with Moxley. Okay, it's a Moxley match. All right, bleeding within or in. Let's see. Does Mox bleed in before or after 5 minutes into the match? What one is it? And a lot of times it's before, but
It's a good bonus question.
yeah, how long does it take Jon Moxley to bleed?
Oh boy. Anyway, is there anything else that you would like to say or ask or anything before we wrap up?
I want to get your opinion on something.
All right, what's up?
What do you think about what they're doing right now on Monday Night Raw in WWE? What did you think about this week's Raw and what they're doing?
Let's see. We had Becky crash out, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Becky and Asuka tease, stare down, whatever you want to call it. I think that ought to be pretty fascinating to see. I did not care for Nikki Bella and Stephanie. I don't see why Nikki
Yeah,
Bella's around because she's just losing every match and she
yeah.
costing points. So I'm not overly thrilled about that.
Oh, I might have missed that one. I thought Vakura and Nikki won, but the
No.
Judgment Day won, did they?
Yeah, Roxanne got the pin. And I I don't want to say I don't like, but I don't quite understand how Roxanne won the match this week. She won last week, but Raquel is getting a world title match against Stephanie next week.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It should have been Roxanne.
Right, but I mean, especially since Raquel's not going to win, I guess I don't know. Let's see what else. I didn't care for Jay and Punk tagging against Division because I'm kind of over Division main eventing Raw. Um, let's see. What else was good that I enjoyed? Da, 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 da. I enjoyed the buildup of the tournament for the John Cena. I'm looking forward to Rusev and Damian Priest, oddly enough.
Yeah,
It's a fresh matchup, something different. I'm
and
totally
even
down.
Nakamura and Sheamus too.
Yep. Yep. That's also next week. You got Stephanie versus Raquel for the world title next week. There's another match that I am missing that they
Now,
announced for next week. Go
what
ahead.
what are your thoughts on what they're doing with Logan Paul?
If he's going to be around, sure. But if he's just going to show up every like 3 weeks or something like that, that could have gone to somebody else. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're trying to obviously add him into the Survivor Series War Games match or whatever. That seems to be the way that they're going with it. But I mean, what? Logan was gone for 4 or 5 months. I can't remember if he had a match at Mania or not.
His last match was against Cena at Clash in Paris.
Okay.
I think that was the same time as all when you to that show you went to.
Oh, maybe. No, Clash of Paris would have been before that. But anyway, yeah, it was.
No,
Yeah,
that was Tuscaloosa probably. Either way,
yeah, it
it's been a
was.
couple months. It's been. I like Logan Paul, contrary to most people. I just wish he was active.
See, the one thing I I have to give Logan Paul credit because I don't know that I've seen somebody who wasn't a wrestler improve like he has so quickly. Like I don't think I've seen somebody pick up the wrestling business as quickly as he has.
Here's a question since you mentioned Logan Paul. Who has the better buckshot lariat, him or Hangman?
Hangman. I think it's all the years of experience that Hangman has. Logan, I think Logan is those viral moments. Logan loves those viral moments. Like I remember the Royal Rumble moment with him and Ricochet, where the two of them jumped off from the opposite sides and cross-bodied each other in the middle of the ring in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was good.
And
That
that's
was a
the
good
thing
moment.
that Logan seems to be. I think he even called himself at one point a moment maker. And that kind of seems to be true. Like he puts out a lot of viral moments.
If he's in War Games, he's jumping off the cage.
Yeah, yeah,
He's and I feel like we're kind of also setting up Raw set up potentially your women's War Games match. If I was to
yeah,
predict now, I'm gonna go Kabuki Warriors,
yep.
Becky Lynch, Julia, and Jade
Okay.
versus Charlotte, Alexa, Stephanie, Tiffany, and I guess Nikki Bella.
Um, I mean, I could see that, but I think maybe you take Nikki out of that match
Sure.
and Rhea ends up being in it. Like
I
I
feel like
could see that.
if you take out Rhea, that you probably need to take somebody else out and add Io in there. I guess you could take Tiffany out and have her with the injury for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And you
Because
add like Rhea, Io, and Rhea. Yeah, they could do that,
since Rhea
which
got
does
broke
make
her nose,
sense.
right?
What's that?
Well, since Rhea broke her nose, they pretty much put Io on ice.
Oh yeah, was that? Oh yeah, not long ago the Rhea broke her nose or whatever too.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 3 weeks ago. And like Io hasn't done anything or even been on TV. It's just like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
Io could still do things without Rhea. Like that's I don't understand why you put her on ice as well, but I would like to see Io in the
yeah.
match because she does some crazy shit.
She does. So yeah, I think that, and then the men's war games. I think you're gonna have Braun and Bronson, and I think you're gonna have Logan with them. Maybe returning Austin Theory. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. And maybe somebody like a Drew McIntyre for that five against Cody and Punk, Jay, um, Cody, Punk, Jay, and who else am I kind of Roman and I don't know.
Oh, hey,
I'm
nice.
obviously missing. Yeah, that could be. And then, but I think if they do it that way, you might see a heel turn in that match too.
Jay?
J or LA, either or.
Well, okay. Well, since you brought Jay up, I don't know if you watched this match against Punk Saturday night's main event, but there's a lot of people speculating he was not sober for that match, or he was just hungover,
Mm,
or he just didn't give a shit. I've even seen it compared, which might be a little excessive, but I saw it compared to Sting versus Jeff Hardy match.
uh, I I mean, myself, I had kind of I was also watching the Jays game, so I was watching the baseball at the same time.
Oof.
I was watching both. Well, I had the sound on for Saturday night's main event, but I was kind of watching the baseball at the same time. So, I mean, I didn't really notice much about the Jay thing, but I have heard what you were saying.
Yeah, the first, I don't know, like 70% of the match was just kind of like two people who've never worked a match with each other trying to work a match. There was one point
Yeah.
Punk went for like a neck breaker, and Jay was just kind of like, okay, and he goes to hit, and he's going for a neck breaker, and somehow he took it like he was taking an RKO. Then like Punk kicked him in the face, like kicked him
Oh,
like with
okay.
kicked him in the face, and they did it again. And then Punk hits him with the GTS. He rolls out the ring, and then Punk goes, grabs a bottle of water, and just starts like dumping the bottle of water
Oh God.
on
Yeah,
him. It's
okay.
like, what is happening? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh
What do you think of
but
Punk being the new world champion?
I think in a way he deserved it. I think the only way they would have given it to Jay is if Jay had turned heel that night. That's the only way they would have given that to Jay.
Agreed. Agreed. Do you think Punk
Um
holds it past the Royal Rumble?
I do. I think he holds it till Mania. I think that whoever wins the Rumble ends up cashing in on Punk.
I can see that. I can see that.
And the last I heard, it's been a while, but the last I heard, the favorite for the Royal Rumble was actually very much of in a way, a surprising favorite.
Oh,
The last I heard, the favorite to win the Royal Rumble in 2026 is Sami Zayn.
I don't even think that's a surprising favorite considering where the Rumble is.
Yeah, I mean, that part I get, but I also look at what WWE's done when they've given him titles or when they've kind of pushed him. Even like that US Open challenge. I loved Sammy's US Open challenge. And the thing is, when I heard the rumor about Dragunov coming back, I was like, "Oh, that's great. I'm happy he's coming back." But no, no, don't do this. Like, don't take the title away from Sammy right now. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, a lot of people were wanting Carmelo to be the one to dethrone him. Carmelo will get his time, I believe. A lot of wrestling
Yeah.
fans, they want instant gratification. They want as soon as somebody gets called up, they need to have all the titles. They need to win every match. And that's just not how wrestling works. There's trials, there's tribulations, and once they reach that pinnacle, whatever it is, then you're like, all right, yeah, I can get behind this guy. Cool.
Well, and it's almost like in a way, in AEW, it's kind of like the Kyle Fletcher situation right now. Because if you look at Kyle Fletcher, like when I was in Toronto at All Out, he and Hangman were having a great match. I said all along that I think Kyle Fletcher is a future world heavyweight champion. but I didn't feel that his time was ready yet. And that's the thing. All throughout that match, the crowd kept chanting, "You're not ready" to Fletcher. Like they knew that eventually he's going to be a world champion, but right now it's not his time.
Everybody has a time. It's just when it's executed. And
Yeah.
wrestling is about patience. A lot of wrestling fans, including myself, are impatient when it comes to certain things. Like me, I want to see Big Cat and the Kid Alliance on my TV more, but do I get that? No. I get other things I don't want, but just going to be patient.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm
Oh,
a big the Kid Alliance fan.
yeah. Well, for me, ever since I first saw them in WWE years ago, mine has always been Peyton Royce.
I couldn't stand her or the other one. I could not stand either one of those two.
Now, the gimmick, I get your point about the gimmick, but ever since I saw them, I'm like, okay, that's the one I want. Like, that's my person. Like, I would take chair shot after chair shot from Sean Spears for her.
I love it. I man,
Yeah,
I have a
we've been
friend of
going
mine.
for a while. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine. He'll tell me, "I'll like if, as soon as they came out, I'll leave the room. I won't even watch their match." I think they had a match at the TNA, not TNA. It was I think WWE's like War Game, not War Games, but Survivor Series type deal match. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
I'm good.
recently, yeah.
They was like, I'm good. I'm good. Don't want no more of that. I'm good.
Uh,
But
yeah.
yeah, this was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. Always a pleasure having you on, sir. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up
Yeah.
because I know AEW is coming on soon, and your Blue Jays lost, which I'm happy about and I'm mad about because the Dodgers won. But we'll find a silver lining somewhere.
Yeah,
But
all I will say is one saying about that game 7. He was safe.
well, Dodgers must pose. So, God, I mean, it is what it is. But always remember,
Yeah.
anybody ever wants to be a guest, please feel free to send me a message, DM, hit the little buttons or whatever, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And other thing, remember, Rey Mysterio is the biggest hater of his own son. Sad.